Let's pitch
And
right into it.
just like that, oh, we're going to get into it. As it looks like Land of 10K will stay on the green side. And I believe it's I Hardly Know Her here on the pink side. Dar, he's going to get double teamed. There's two players in net for IHKH. And now they're going to get their first scrap of offense. Here's Dar. He wasn't able to really connect on that shot.
Right off the bat, you can see how much of the field they're taking up, and it's that lower third.
Oh,
it's that
no.
maybe lower half. Dar.
Everyone look away once again. Shut your monitors off if you have to. No one saw this. This wasn't meant to happen. This wasn't in the script that I have in front of me right now. That was not supposed to happen. So now with I Hardly Know Her getting the early lead, we're going to have to see what they can do, if they're going to try to extend it or if they're going to turtle. Ruben putting a shot on wasn't the strongest. Harge with it now. Pops it over to in the corner, trying to wrap this one around. Open net opportunity, and it goes in. Defender was just almost there.
I got a good feeling about this. I got a good feeling about this series, and I may have cursed it right then and there, but I'm sticking with it.
He's going to stick with it, ladies and gentlemen. We are tied up with two uncooked spaghetti noodles on the scoreboard for now. To where when we started the game, we had two goose eggs. Now we have raw spaghetti noodles, is what I like to call it. This is good signs for 10K. We're going to have to see what they can do from here. But Dar, that's a good cut shot. It goes far post and out. Just so close. Now Ruben, he's going to pop this one up. Dar's there once more. And we can see here, Blake, that the gameplay has really slowed down from the first series.
It's really leveled out, and I Hardly Know Her. You see them kind of in that more reactive state than TPS was, and in this case, it's a good thing. But you can really see them leveling out play style, and as I was saying before, you see them in the lower third, lower fourth of the screen. You don't see them getting too high unless it's on the wall, and in that case, they really don't have that much control over it. But
oh, and
I
Hardly Know Her's just scrambling in their own net. All three players. Hard's going to put the second one off the board, post and in. The bounce shot, Blake, undefendable.
They're taking after KJO with that basketball dribble.
Dar once more with it, trying to start the offense in the corner. Gonna bump this one over. He could have left that for a teammate to try to shoot it, but carries it back to that left corner for Land of 10K. Oh, that's a big clear. That's going to bounce in. No. Just high. Dar going to pop that one off the backward. That's straight in if no one touches it, but Fraud. First time we've said his name all evening. Is there bounce shot where Ruben will save the way? As earlier I said, it was near undefendable. But Ruben holding strong. You're just about midway through game number one. Land of 10K currently up 2-1. I believe it was Hard with the 2 goals here in this first game. Shallow angle shot gonna go in from Ruben.
I believe that's what they call a dunk. No.
Hey, look. Don't tell me this was another own goal. As I know what Hard was trying to do, trying to pinch that one away. But
I think what 10KG really has going for them is their rotations right now. I think that Hardly Know Her is playing selfish ball right now, and I think it's not reflecting well on the scoreboard.
And sometimes selfish Rocket League works out, and it's looking like here it will not. Lance gonna bounce this one off the ceiling. Hard, he just overdrives it. Fraud backboard shot won't go through as Lance is there for the stop. Again off the backboard, this one's gonna be low off the backboard. There's Ruben, he can't get enough height up in the air to knock the ball down, goes over to the corner. And with a minute to go, we're knotted at 2. And dare I say, Blake, we need to go to the extra frame.
This is anyone's game at this point, and I could definitely see this going into overtime. You could see that plus sign any minute.
Well, there's 38 seconds. We're going to have to wait and find out. On the edge of our seats, Lance will get another save for his credit. But right now, I hardly know her. Really closing in on offense. Slowly just constricting the defensive land of 10K. As we'll see, maybe one final push here. Shot on, it's going to be in. No other than Dar. So nice, you have to say it twice. Dardar making it 3-2 with 13 seconds left, and he's just uncontested up there.
I believe that's the second goal of the game, is it not?
That would be the 5th goal of the game, Blake.
For Dar.
Oh, for Dar, that might be. Side note, Blake, never do math on air. It's just a bad time. It never works out well.
It's a little too risky.
One for the road. Gets around.
So
just the placement not there. And this game, a lot closer. Hard's putting all 4 shots on for his team. No one putting up a donut factory. Actually, take that back. Wolfman, not doing a whole. He didn't put a whole lot on the stat board, so he does have some donuts to show, but not necessarily does that mean he didn't contribute. He got the important touches that his team needed to. But for Hardly Know, they just had that extra edge, we'll say. The extra fight in them. I'm not really sure what kind of term I'm looking for, but they just had that little bit more. They wanted it that little bit more, and they got the game 1 win. So now, again, for Land of 10K, it is just an uphill battle.
Unfortunately, you do see team play on both sides here. 2 different strategies, though. You see on I Hardly Know Her, a more well-rounded, you see it on the stat board. This is where I'm taking my reference. You see a little less donuts. You see someone contributing here and there all across the board. But you see on 10KG, it's a little bit more assigned. You see somebody with a majority goals and then another with majority saves. And unfortunately, in Wolfman's case, I guess he's just there. He's there. He's present.
He's just there. He's having a good time. I guess is what we'll call it. So with that, going into game 2, I'd like to see Land 10K just hold on to a lead for longer. You know, they had the lead and then they just kind of turtled up on defense, and that's not the way to play the game. You have to be able to just keep that constant, steady pressure to keep your offense going, because you have to be able to play at both ends, because when you turtle up on defense, that's when you scramble, that's when you panic, when you run out of boost, that's when communications break down. And when all of those transpire, the other team will score.
Definitely. And towards the end, it seemed that I Hardly Know Her was definitely becoming more and more dominant. And as you said, that defense from 10KG was just turtling just a bit. Hopefully they can gather themselves and, you know, stick to it more throughout the entire game. But to be fair, they did go back to back. TPS is getting that break, which I guess could be well deserved due to the win. But they're going back to back in these games. They have very little time to adjust, make corrections to what they're doing. At least, you know, I Hardly Know Her is a little bit lower on their gameplay style and not as intense as TPS. But hopefully 10KG can pull together.
And honestly, I think for 10KG, it benefits them. You know, they're warmed up, they're ready to go, as they've already had to play for a half hour or so. And so they could be warmed up. And I think there's just a couple of mistakes that happened on their side. I think that an own goal, and that own goal kind of cost them. You know, that they could have won that game 2-1, and instead they lost it 3-2. And just the waning seconds of the game didn't even need overtime. And so with that, it's just limiting the mistakes for Land of 10K.
I think it really comes down to communication at this point, because I agree, they do have that warm up, they do have that what's the word, somehow advantage in this gameplay, but it really comes down to communication, and it really comes down to their stamina and, you know, being able to effectively get across what they're trying to do. And somebody's got to be a leader, somebody's got to step up, and it needs to happen soon. So hopefully they may trade games here back and forth. We don't know. I think game 2 will give us a better taste.
And we're gonna hop right into game 2 as 10K looking to see if they can get the lead once again, but this time hold on to it. This one's gonna bounce out. It's gonna guillotine drop straight down. Wolfman, it's a soft floater. 3 players there for the side of I Hardly Know Her, and I think they had that one covered. Quick shot by Ruben will be sent away. And Blake, what are you looking for out of Land of 10K really here in game 3?
They need confidence. They have the rotations. They may need to work on their communication, but they need the confidence when it comes to execution. They need to know where they're going. They need to make a decision in the moment where they're putting the ball.
They can't hesitate. They gotta see the ball and know what they want to do with it right away. They can't be thinking about what they're going to do with the ball as they're driving towards it. As there's a lofting shot by Frog, going to be well high. Triple commit on the side of 10K. They are just scrambling right now on defense. Seems to be a very familiar position. Dari's not going to be able to read that one. Ruben with it now slows it down. Bounces it off the corner. There's Dar's shot. He's going to whiff. As it has just been a slight potato fest here, Blake, early on here in game 2.
And you see, what is it? I Hardly Know Her doing better with their rotations. I've noticed that they haven't been all going for the same ball at the same time, or one person deciding that they're going to be the hero. They seem to be playing more as a team, which could fare poorly for Land of 10,000 Goals.
Oh my goodness. Fraud had an open net, and he's like, you know, this post seems like a really good place to hit the ball. And he drills the post, but that one's going to go in. Dar, just the changeup, bounced a couple times, found its way to the back of the net. And for 10K, they just could not read the ball.
I don't think that was supposed to go in.
And it wasn't on the script, Blake. So I'm not sure why these players are not going off of the script that we have written for them.
Very inconsiderate.
Hards trying to work this one around. Centering attempt. Lance shot just high. No, Wolfman forced to retreat. This one gonna bounce off the backboard. Still just kind of over in the corner. Ruben calls off his teammate. Bounce shot finds its way into the back of the net. Halfway through this game, and it is now 2-0 for I Hardly Know Her.
You know, Land of 10KG really seems to have a trial and error almost offense, where they're one's going, the other's going if they miss that, and the last one goes and attempts to make the goal happen as they just kind of pile on top of each other with their shots.
Oh, and Dar, I believe it was, shot well wide. Gonna be off the crossbar, down, no. Crossbar and straight back out to the midfield 2 minutes ago. Dar, another one. He's gonna get the Hattie. No, I'm sorry, it's only gonna be a second again. Casters can't count here tonight. As it's just the positioning from 10K, just not there. They're sitting
read.
on that. Yeah, they're sitting on that front post, Blake. And when you're defending your net, you want to be sit towards the middle of your net or just on that back post, because that gives you,
You
the
have to have room to
maximum
move.
amount of coverage. Exactly. And now, Fraud, he's going to whiff past this one. Go for a bump, doesn't connect. And now Hards will boom this one downfield. Follow-up attempt will be intercepted. Ball back in the midfield. Fraud down to the corner. This one's going to bounce well high into the air. Drop down. It's Ruben. And it is now 4-0. For
They are battling. They are battling for that hat trick. It's Ruben and it is Dardar. They're trying to see who can get it first.
I don't know who I Hardly Know Her is trying to forget. But they are just putting their anger to use, as it's now 4 unanswered, 5 unanswered technically, if we count the game winner from the previous game. And with a minute
They
to
may
go,
be
land a
losing
10K.
hope.
They could be, and land a 10K. Gonna get robbed on the goal line. Has Dar just gonna use the force, making his car a double wide to get that ball away. Lance gonna dangerously cross that one in front of his net. Trying to work this one around. Hard. Now, off the sidewall. Wraps it around, but the backboard clear is strong. This one's going to drop straight down. But there isn't a player from 10K to read it. And now they're going to have to go the whole length of the pitch once more if they're going to want another. One final push here for 10K. See if they can put this on. Defender in net will send it away as Ruben clears it to safety, and I Hardly Know Her now going to go up 2-0 in the series. And for Land 10K, that game just did not start out how you wanted it to. And they just couldn't keep up here in game 2, Blake.
A very defensive game in terms of 10kg. You see those stats. Not a whole lot of donuts on the right side of the screen, but you see a lot of them on the left. Quite the opposite for I Hardly Know Her.
And for I Hardly Know Her, again, they just seem to control the pace of play. Granted, it was more of a team-based style compared to what we saw from TPS, where KJ just manhandled all 5 players on the pitch, even his own teammates. So here, it is a bit more even, but for Land of 10K, again, I'd like to see them just control the ball a little bit more. Stop booming the ball downfield and trying to chase it. It hasn't worked out, so you got to change things up, and I think that's where they have to start here going into game 3.
It's that, and it's the small mistakes, and we were talking about how we scream at our friends about it, and I'm internally screaming when I see it. When they whiff under that ball, it is, it is a tough thing to see. But it leads to those big mistakes. It's the little things that snowball into the big losses that are happening right now.
And so going into game 3 for I Hardly Know Her, excuse me, I mean, I think they're sitting pretty, they seem very confident in what they're doing. They seem comfortable. It's just a matter of taking the time and finishing off the series. As for 10K, they are struggling to get their footing. Granted, they look a lot better than the first series, but there are just too many mistakes, and the mistakes, they just snowball and snowball and snowball, and then all of a sudden you find yourself down 3-0, and you're like, what happened?
How do you think that these ranks are playing? Because, I Hardly Know Her, I have here, has more platinums than Land of 10kg, and that seems a little surface level when I read that, and I don't want to make assumptions just based on that little difference, but does it make that big of a difference?
It makes a massive difference. I granted gold to plat, that's not very, it's not it's not that big of a difference. But when you have a grand champ who is, so that's one of the near top ranks in Rocket League, going up against golds and plats, it makes a world of difference. As you could see, KJ, he was doing things and everyone else was just watching, really. So it just kind of comes down to ranks right now, and right now the players that are supposed to be having success are thriving right now.
They are playing by the book right now. Every statistician is loving what we're putting on right now.
Now, granted, as someone who's taking stats, there's two different ways you can look at this. You just want to write down as little as possible. So like if there's just one shot and one goal and like no saves the rest of the game, it'd be pretty easy. But granted, when a team is just putting on shots, goals, and saves left, right, and center, you're busy. And so as we go into game 3 here, I'd like to see Land of 10K just get more of everything going right now. Because, again, they are just struggling to get their footing. So, with the start of game number 3 here, Ruben going to work this one in the corner, trying to pop it over. Could not do so. Fraud working his way upfield. He's been really the third man back this series, last man back, whatever you want to call it. Just he's doing his role. He's doing his job. He's not doing anything too flashy. He's getting this job done, filling his role. That one's going to be a worm burner, but it's going to get stopped by Ruben. As a quick shot. Hards with the demo as he is headhunting here early here in game 3. Just trying to open up space for his teammates.
For any reference with anybody not understanding, we have Land of 10KG in green, and we have I Hardly Know Her in pink. And I don't know if anybody just caught that, but we saw 2 Land of 10KG players apparently rule oneing. They're stacked on top of each other out there.
A self-team rule 1 is very dangerous because that takes 2 players out of the play instead of just 1. So now, as I think both teams are really settled into the motion of the game, I still have my fingers crossed that Land of 10K can get something going. But for I Hardly Know Her, they're just continuing to start off on the right foot. Saved there by Lanch. Going to be a 2v3 the other way. Hard centers. That's going to be a well over the net. And now Lanch, he's circling in the corner, just struggling to find a position to where he can hit the ball. Hards, that's a very early and dangerous challenge, as he was last back and he was well out of position.
It's the little things.
Mm-hmm. It's really who makes the first mistake and who makes the last mistake, and Hards gonna go top cheddar, top shelf, where mom hides the cookies, and he's gonna give Land of 10K, I believe, their first lead all evening. Ruben with it now. Trying to bring his team back into this game and tie it up. Hard trying to pick that bottom corner, just not there. Wolfman, he's going to have center an attempt. I believe that was intended for Hearts, but just couldn't find back of the net. And Dar, that one's going to be off the backboard, and he's just going to follow his own read. It's free play for him. And you know what they say, Blake? Practice makes perfect.
That was essentially an alley-oop to himself. That was absolutely beautiful. You love to see it.
There's a lot of things you love to see, and for Land of 10K, that is not what you want to see. You lose the lead. Game is all tied up. Pool shot, no way. Is Ruben going to make it 2-0 just like that off the kickoff? Oh, it wasn't a pool shot.
He's there when
Ruben
no one else was.
Comes from the backfield, crashes the net, or crashes the ball at midfield, I guess we'll say. And it is amazing how quickly things can change here in Rocket League. I have seen a hat trick in the final 13 seconds to force OT, and now it's tied once again. Wolfman, just a second too early, in my opinion. It could have been 2-2 with 2:02 left on the clock, and just what could have been, Blake?
The gold taking on the platinums. Gets his name on the board. That's awesome.
You know, sometimes playing against better competition is how you get better within Rocket League, so this is a great chance for both sides to improve. Shot on by Dar will be sent away by Wolf. And now approaching 100 seconds left to go here in game number 3.
This
Wolf
is
gonna
anyone's
put a
game
shot
once again.
on. It is anyone's game. It is wide open. But again, we've seen this song and dance before, where Landed 10K Lakes, they struggle in the late game when it's tied. They score a lot of their goals in the early portion of the game. So they got to get one late here if they want to stay within this series. Floater off the post, off the crossbar, off the post. Gonna stay tied here. Lanch waits, can't get that shot on. He is beat to it.
You know, I'm not too
Angle
sure about
shot's
this
gonna find
defense.
the back of the net. And it was questionable defense. Dar was unchallenged, again, off the backboard, sitting front post, not where you want to be. Really just caught no man's land was Wolfman. And once again, just like in game 1, I hardly know her. They score in the final minute to take the lead 3-2. And Landed 10K is kicking themselves thinking, what do we have to do differently?
You see Hard coming in at that last moment when you should not be coming in. You need to be back and you need to be ready with your teammates in the correct positions. And they were neither in the correct position nor at their place at the right time.
No, it's really all about positioning and make sure your teammates are in sync of how you guys want to play. Do you want to be aggressive with your rotations? Do you want to be a bit passive? Where do you want to control as crossbar and out? The near own goal will be a save. Now, Dar gonna just take his time. Could have put in his second one on the board, and Blake. Game 3 is done and dusted. Hold on, dare I say. Ball's in the corner, now it will drop, and that game has just flown by.
They're going by
Again,
quicker
10K.
and quicker.
10K, they are just, oh, so close. But getting oh so close only gets you so far, and only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, Blake. And Rocket League is neither of those things.
You see a little bit more balance in the stat board at the end of that one, but it's just the little things. I know we keep coming back to this, but that is what this all depends on. And it's the little time, the little bit of time that you need to get back. You need to utilize that. You can't just get back when you need to. And it doesn't seem like they have a centralized plan over at Land of 10KG. It just kind of seems like they're winging it. They're going along with when the ball is coming, where the ball is. They don't have these set plans where if this is going to happen, where am I going to be? And I think that's going to be necessary for them, Ernie. And
it's just kind of the way they rotate right now. It's not great, if I'm honest, and that's really where their defensive lapses are, is that they double commit and triple commit a lot, and that is where they open up their net for shots to be put on. And a lot of times when those shots are put on, words, I apologize as my brain just froze. When they leave open nets, I hardly know where is there to bury it, and it's just that Landed 10K, they cannot keep up with the prolific offense that I Hardly Know Her can put on.
I Hardly Know Her is just capitalizing on these little moments. They're really taking advantage of the little holes and the little gaps that they see, and it's turning out really well for them. And, you know, you hate to see that 10KG just can't catch a break, but at this point, do they even deserve one?
I mean, that is the harsh reality right now. They've dropped 7 straight. And so now you're looking to avoid the donut on the board of going 0-8 and 0-2, series scoreline wise. So it's definitely, there's a lot on the mind, a lot not going well. What a save by Hard. He was backwards. It was an impossible read off the crossbar, but he finds a way. Dar trying to go top shelf, can't find it. Oh my.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Not again. Not again. Not the own goal once more. This isn't in the script, ladies and gentlemen. It just happens.
I was just about to say, it's getting too close for comfort. It's a nice goal, and you get that epic save, but it's just a little too close. You got to back it off a little bit more.
You know, you get the own goals, and it's a bit of BM. You know, and it's a little more salt in the wound. It's like you can just bank it off the other team and make them score on themselves. It's difficult, and that pinch is going to go through, make it 2-0. And again, this ball is just uncontested. When it comes off the backboard, 140 KPH. Holy smokes.
That's got to be our fastest. That's got to be our fastest of the night.
That is going to be the fastest shot of the night. Hands down. And it is, and again, like you mentioned, 10K cannot catch a break, and with how disorganized they have played, I'm going to have to agree with you that they don't deserve one. And as unbiased as a caster that I try to be, at some point a series gets chalked and you can't erase it, Blake.
And in this defensive effort that they're doing right now, I Hardly Know Her is essentially bonking their heads together in the most cartoon fashion because they're just so crowded in there. I think their strategy is, the more we have, the more defensive we'll be. But that's not the case right there.
And another one, Fraud's going to find one in the back of the net. And there's just no organization on the side of 10K. And for I Hardly Know Her, it's at the point where if we don't know what we're doing, they don't know what we're doing. Because it is just so counterattack heavy and just capitalizing on the mistakes, the unforced errors and mistakes, Blake, that landed 10K are coughing up, and Ruben gonna get the Hattie here. Another shallow angle, great read off the backboard. And I can't stress this enough. If you're playing Rocket League, you have to defend your backboard. It is just as important as the net. As we have a Rule 1 in front and they broke it, hello? That is the one thing you don't do in this game. You do not break a Rule 1 when two cars are driving nose to nose. That just brings bad karma, bad juju, bad vibes. It is a curse. And that has been the tail of the tape here for Land 10K. Dar with the fake. A very soft flick as we're approaching halftime here. Oh, once again, the coffin for Land 10K. As the final nail in it, it's been pushed off the back of the boat. There are cinder blocks tied to it. And it is going to the bottom of the lake. Fraud, he can't get a grasp on that one. To make it 5-0 double tap, it's not there. And again, just so close. It's going to be 4-1 as it's a fast break for Hard.
They might have let that one go in.
They might have, because at this point, it's just impactless points and impactless goals for Land 10K.
I really like the way that I Hardly Know Her is playing with their offense. I like how they're bringing the ball across. They're creating these traditional scenarios that you see in a lot of Rocket League tournaments, and it's obviously working very well for them.
Wolfman going to chip this one off. Well, that one's going to center, but Wolf doesn't have any boost. And he was going to be unable to get there. Hard now. Wasn't able to get a grasp. There's a Ruben shot in the crease. It's going to get saved away by Wolf. And now land 10K looking for one more.
They have the intention. I see it. They have the... They know when they need to clear the ball. They know when they need to push off. I could see the confidence coming back, but it's just not quite enough.
Slow floater. Ruben going to play this one off to the side, just wasting as much time as he can. Because right now it seems like Landed 10K is not comfortable when the ball is anywhere above the net. Or above the crossbar, we'll say. Across the pitch. And so it really limits what they can do with the ball. We see them a lot. They're just hitting the ball into open space. And really just hitting the ball to hit it, not really trying to focus on where they want to hit the ball. And it just seems like there's just a lot of chase and not a lot of true action.
And when you do that, you may accidentally be playing offense for the other team. You may be setting up a beautiful route for one player to pass to another, or possibly even a goal.
Fraud was looking for center there, just couldn't get the read on the wall. As when the ball is going up the ramp to the wall, the reads can be just a little tricky. 22 seconds to go now. As again, the ball just lofted up in the air. Dar working it around the corner. It's the final countdown. And I hardly know her. Seem to not know 10K as they lay out the 4-0, a near perfect sweep. And it will be winner takes all in the final series of the night.